Well, after seeing this trailer before pretty much every movie I saw last year, I finally got to see the family fun thrill ride Monster Trucks. And it was stupid, but I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect it to be, I guess. I went in thinking this was going to be either absolutely terrible or just kind of lame, and it ended up just being kind of lame. So this movie, I think, has been in development for like 4 or 5 years, and it was based off the director's son or daughter's idea. And I think they had to do like a lot of redesigns and stuff because the monster looked too scary before or something. I'm not really sure. I don't care enough to have to look it up because this movie is lame. So what's the story? The movie starts off with the big bad oil company trying to drill for some oil, and they end up bumping into an ecosystem with some weird creatures in it. Yeah, they're just called creatures for the whole movie. There's 3 creatures and they capture 2 of them, but the other one escapes. Then we meet our main character, Trip, who's an average kid that no one understands. He's got family issues and he's all moody, and he's only ever happy when he's building or smashing trucks at the local dump. The one night when he's working on his truck, he meets the creature that escaped, and he's terrified at first, but then, he realizes it's completely harmless and they become friends. Well, I guess it becomes his pet, not friends. And Trip learns that the creature that he eventually names Creech can fit inside of a car and make it run without an engine. And he uses that ability to escape from the big bad oil company because they come down looking for Creech. They need to kill Creech for some reason that's never explained. There's a subplot where one of the scientists at the oil company thinks that the creatures are very impressive and totally harmless and shouldn't be killed, but the actual boss of the place is super evil and he wants them all dead. Also, Trip has a love interest named Meredith who literally has no character outside of the fact that she likes Trip. And her dad happens to own a lot of convenient things that help him throughout the movie. Like, oh, my dad just happens to own this shed in the middle of the woods where we can hide, and it has oil for your thing to drink, so we're safe. Like, yeah, great. What are the odds of that? There's a few other characters like Trip's dad, Trip's mom, the cop who's dating his mom, and the chubby comic relief character. Oh great, how original, whoa, woohoo. And that's basically it. Like, if you're over the age of 8, you can probably just predict literally everything that's going to happen in the movie. There's nothing deep to it, it's all completely straightforward. Like, you get nothing out of this movie. I don't even think there's a moral in this movie. It tries to have an environmental message, I think, but that doesn't go beyond there's an oil company and they don't like the oil company, so they're going green, and that's it. But the movie's about cars, so that doesn't even make sense. And there's a layer in here that tries to be about dysfunctional families, but that doesn't even work because they don't really explain anything. Like, when they first mentioned Trip's dad, I thought he was dead, but he's totally alive and he just works for the oil company. But then is he like a deadbeat? Did he not support the family, or does he work too much, or is it because he joined the oil company? Like, it's never really explained and pretty much forgotten by the climax of the movie. The visual effects in this movie are good. I mean, they're exactly what they look like in the trailer. It's really nothing phenomenal like Marvel quality or anything, but it works. Whenever characters are being yelled at or held by Creech or whatever, it looks like they really are. And I assume a lot of the car movement is CG too, and that always looks pretty realistic. There's a lot of chase scenes in this movie, and they could have made all that stuff look really lazy, but it looks pretty good. There was one chase scene where they just drove around and like pretty much wrecked the entire town, and there was zero consequence for anything that they did, which was, kind of strange, but I guess it was slapsticky enough to be entertaining, and that's really the only reason why it was in the movie at all. The acting is totally fine, I guess. Like, I feel like all the actors knew they were in monster trucks, so they just did what they felt they had to do. I don't think these are all new actors, but they're definitely people I haven't seen in movies. Everything was fine. The villains are a little over the top, but that's probably just because of the script. And that scientist character I mentioned earlier is probably the most entertaining character in the movie. The music in this movie is, I don't know, it has music. Not really anything memorable at all, but it's there. It's not bad. The sound effects for the cars and the creatures and stuff are pretty good. Like, they all sound pretty unique. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie. It's dumb, but it's, there's worse. This is probably a fun little movie for like really young kids to watch. It's got really no substance for adults, but it's harmless. It exists. It seems like there was a lot of work put into it, but just like, why? It's monster trucks. It's called Monster Trucks. You're not going to get anything out of that. And that's all for this review. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go make sure there's no tentacle monsters inside my car. Bye.